This video is for the lesson 4.8 homework. So we're going to finish out this unit looking at trend lines and scatter plots and like the association. And y'all did this last year with scatter plots. If it was a positive or a negative, those kind of words. That's how we finish out this linear equations unit. So number one, what is the name of a line on a scatter plot that helps show the correlation between data sets more clearly? This is a trend line. And that's what we're doing today, is we're looking at trend lines. And then number two, what is the name of closely grouped data? A cluster.
Oh, I just guessed.
All right, so what they've done is they've given us a scatter plot, and it says draw a trend line and then answer the following questions. So when we draw a trend line, we want to get about the same number of dots above and below that line. So we're not going to get a line that perfectly goes through the middle of this. Again, we just want about the same number of dots above and below. So I'm going to draw my line here. And every time, we're all going to kind of get a different line. They're not going to be exact. So these are all just close estimates is what they are. All right, number four says, based on the scatter plot, what is the best estimate of the time it takes to travel 1.5 miles? So miles is here, time is over here. So 1.5 miles would be about here. So what I can do is I can follow that line till I hit the trend line I drew, and then I can turn and go the other way and see where I land. So halfway in between would be 15. I'm a little bit above 10. So I'm between 10 and 15. So I would take any answer in between 10 and 15. 11, 12, 13, 14. Again, we're all going to get something that's a little bit different. On mine, I put 12 minutes. So when I grade these, I'm going to give you some buffer space because they're all going to be different. All right, number five says, based on the scatter plot, what's the best estimate of the distance traveled in 50 minutes? So minutes is over here, so I'm going to go to the 50 on the minute side, and I'm going to follow that line until I hit the trend line, and then I'm going to follow that line straight down to see where I land. And here I landed almost exactly in between 4 and 5. So again, any number in between 4 and 5, I'm going to count as good. On mine hits about 4.6 miles. If yours hits closer to 4.5 or if it hits closer to 4.2, as long as it's between 4 and 5, we're good. And then number 6, based on the scatter plot, what's the best estimate of the time it takes to travel 6 miles? So miles is here. So I find the 6, follow it up to my trend line, and then once I hit my trend line, I go the other direction. Boop. And so for me, I'm way up off the charts almost. I'm at kind of that halfway mark, which is about 65. So again, I take anything in between 60 and 70, just depending on where it falls. It's all going to fall different. I guarantee you, when I do this the next class period, I'm going to get different answers. My trend line is going to be different. So I don't even draw the same trend line on the same set of data every time. All right, your part today, you're going to write equations for trend lines. So here's how we do it. They've given you a scatter plot. They've given you 2 points. It's these big round points that they give you that are on the line. You're going to use those points to write an equation. So the first thing you have to do is name those points. So this point here, its x is a 5. Its y is a 7. So there's 1 point. And then here's my other point. Its x is a 15. Its y is a 0. If I've got 2 points, I can do linear regression. And so that's all you've got to do is name the points and then do linear regression. We're going to do them in slope-intercept form too. So x and y, then we put our x's in, and we put our y's in. Menu, 4, 1, 3. Change the x list to x, the y list to y. And then make sure that you're changing your decimals to fractions. So here I got m is negative 0.7. B is 10.5. So I need to change both of those into fractions. So negative 0.7 menu 2 is negative 7/10. So that's my slope. And then 10.5 menu 2 plus 21/2. But that's all you have to do on your part today. I'm even going to do one more. You're only going to have 2 to do on your own today. So this point here, the x is 20, the y is 2. This point here, the x is 80, the y is 10. Remember to start fresh every time. So I've got 20, 2 and 80, 10. So my x's are 20 and 80. My y's are 2 and 10. All right, so now I got a repeating decimal. So my m here is 0.13. The 3 is what repeats. The b is negative 0.6. The 6 is what repeats. So to change those, 0.1, and then since it's the 3 that repeats, that's the one that I type a bunch in. Menu 2, that's 2/15, so y equals 2/15 x, and then negative 0.6 repeating, menu 2 is negative 2/3.